So hey folks, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Mohammad Shahriar Al-Mustaqimitul, a Gold Microsoft Learner Scrum Ambassador and the Azure Tech Group Lead of Bangladesh. Okay, so this is basically GitMania and you're watching the session on Git and how we can work on open source projects using GitHub, Git and so on. So let's proceed. এই কথাটা তুমি সরাতে যাচ্ছ, okay? You can just remove that. Then you can commit changes. Now we will obviously learn about what is commit and so on. You don't need to worry about that. But follow the process. You can just right now just commit message, no issues. But remember this, we will actually talk about commit messages in our later content and sessions, okay? This one and commit email, okay, no issues. Commit directly to the demo BN branch. That means the branch we are in right now, we're committing it directly here. That means it will be saved in this branch. So, okay, no issues. We've just done that. So what happened? What happened is we have now one commit. Commit is something you can do is basically commit is something you can relate something by dots, okay? All of these lines we can commit, consider them as dots. From the next examples, we will go for that. Okay, so these are dots. So there is a dot created. Now, how can you understand? Yes, there is a dot created and so on. It might be overwhelming for you right now. Okay, but we have to understand the process, right? If I go to the glossary project and you see this is demo. Sorry. Okay, that was the issue. Yeah. Okay. Great. So we are in the branch. We are currently in this branch. Okay, no issues. So we created this branch, and we are here. When we were here, we just actually created a commit in that branch, right? You know, we have created a commit in this branch. So what happened? So how can you see that? You can just see from here. Okay, you can just see from here. Now you can see just 1 minute back. We had the message like you saw commit message. It was update application programming interface, right? Right. That means, and you can see we have how many commits by now? 2069. But if you go to begin another one like the dev VN, can you see the difference? We have 2068. We don't have that commit. That is what I was teaching you by now, right? That dev.vn doesn't have this one. Even main doesn't have this one. Okay? So this is how things work. Now your demo BN have more commits than your dev.vn, because you can see when you create a dev.vn, you actually have all of the commits or file changes out here. Commits you can just assume for now it is like files and something or file changes. You can see all of these now. Demo VN have 2069, but only for these you can see if we leave just one, we have 2068. So it makes sense, right? So this is what the concept of branching is. Okay, this is awesome. Now if I have decided, okay, cool, this is good. If I've decided like I want to merge this with dev.vn, that means basically is I want to give this code or merge this code or add this commit to dev.vn. How can you do that? You just want to add it to the dev.vn. How can you do that? You have to follow the process, which is again this one, compare and pull request. Now if you just press it down, what happens? You have to choose these ones. First of all, you have to be sincere. You have to understand this is CNCF glossary. This is not you are looking for. This is basically the main project we copied from. We don't need to go for that. I'm just going to go for my ones. Okay, my CNCF glossary. Now I have to also need to select which branch I want to copy. Now you can just see from here. I want to add my commit from demo BN to dev BN, obviously, right? Demo BN to dev BN. So you can see the icon, right? From demo BN to I will select dev BN. sorry. Here you can see Debian. And now you can also see the GitHub will actually show you there are a lot of things like git commands. To see that will make you see like what is the change you have actually that you want to put in. You can see from here, if you just come here you can see we remove API chara, this word, right? And that is actually missing out here, right? You can see application gulor moddhe, but you can see this one. That means the commit is basically something, if you just make any changes, this is a commit. If you add something, remove something, this is a commit. Okay, so you have to understand that. That means if I just now create a pull request, we can create that. Now here comes an interesting part. I can create the pull request, like I want to do that, that I want to actually add it to here. Okay, but here is also an interesting part. You can see now merge pull request. Why? Merge pull request is basically provided to that person who has the access to it. Now you know, I told you previously, you have access to this whole repository. You have just copied it down, right? You have access to the whole repository. You are the owner. You can make any changes to anything. You can just follow the process or anything. You just remove anything. So that is why I've been given this thing. But if I would have actually make something like created like pull request from Debian to Debian, but not this Debian, just the main project, I could never see this merge pull request one. Why? The thing is that I'm not the admin, right? That's the thing. This is my project basically. Why? Because I've copied it down. Now I have the access. Basically, it is something like, okay, it is something like I can say is you are using a phone, right? You have a phone, like you are using any brand of phone. So basically the phone belongs to the company, obviously. But when you buy them, you can just do anything with the phone, right? That's the thing. But you can't actually make any changes that will actually, if you make any changes or customize your phone, that won't be there in other phones, surely, right? If you make any changes in your phone, that won't be there in other phones. It is your own phone. You can do anything. But if anything you want like permanently to change, the persons, the company have to change it, right? So that is the thing. So you can merge it. If you merge the pull request, what will happen? I won't do it because it is not a good practice, and you know that what I just removed it without any making any sense. So what will happen is basically after that there will be the demo VN, like this commit will be visible out here as well. Okay, this will be out here as well after merging. If we press this merge button, so if you go to the Debian, you will see we have then 2069 and we also have 2069. Okay, that is the thing. So Debian will have same number of commits there, and it also have same because. And now you can also ask, okay, brother, the problem is these and these, it should have been 270 now, but you know this is identical, there's no issues. Okay, that is the thing. So till now we have understood a lot of the concept, and basically this is the most interesting part and the concept most people who are beginner don't understand. So I really encourage you to like share this video, share this session with the folks who have never or want to contribute to open source or getting stuck on it. Okay. Okay, so previously we have learned about like how we can create the commit and so on, right? We have learned about the committing, and we also knew about git log, right? How we can see the commits history and so on. Okay, so that's awesome. Like we have basically initialized git. I have also after initializing git, we have started working on staging. We have taken it to the committing area, we have committed, and we have basically checked those logs. Okay, now all of the stuff we are basically now going to practice on code cloud, because it will give us like multiple contributors kind of ecosystem in the labs. Okay, so let's go for that. Okay, let me start on it. So we'll basically start from the beginning to like multiple topics, and gradually I will make you understand what is the thing, how it is happening, how the things are going on. Okay, so let's follow the process. Okay, in the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to ask the questions. And as you have come to know by now, like it is very important for students to understand, because most of the things developers do in the local system is basically Git. Okay, let's start understanding what's happening. So let's install Git first, identify the operating system. So here we want to understand the operating system. So all the time we will be having some sort of help from the hint system. Okay, so we're just copying and pasting that. So this is basically Ubuntu based, like a day based system. So Ubuntu, but still we just want to know, you see, distribution ID is Ubuntu. So identify the operating system, which is basically, this is how we do. Okay, now install Git on the system. So as you have come to know, like previously in our other sessions, you have seen like we worked on basically on our local system, which was a Windows system. So in the system, we just need to download the Git basically from a browser. That was it, and just press something. But in Ubuntu, things are quite different. So first of all, we need to update this whole system, because basically these are open sourced, and then we have to actually use some codes. So these are few things which are new out here. For you, if you are using Ubuntu, it's going to be like not new, because you know sudo apt update is something to update all of the stuffs in our, because every time you want to install something, you have to update the whole stuff, and then you have to install. So here you can see this is basically our git command which we are going to use to install, but surely this is not what you have to use in your Windows system. Okay, so let me first of all clear these out so that you can see. Okay, let me paste it down. Sudo apt, then install git -y, which means yes. Okay, because if you just keep apt install git, it will actually ask again, okay, are you sure? Then you have to give this y. So we have installed that. Let's check this out down. Like, okay, if we have done that, okay, done. We have installed git in our Ubuntu system. Okay, identify the version of the git. So basically git version dash version, which is the same. I just don't want to write it down. Just copy paste. Sorry for that. It would have been taken much less time. Okay, git version, so it is 2.7.1. 2.17.1. Okay, great. Now let's move on to another thing. Like they're saying, like we will learn more about working with different git commands through the help. Okay, no issues. Now let's know about like GitHub. So how it helps, how this git help command helps. Basically, the thing is, if you make some mistake in commands, maybe you're new, so if you just press git help, there will be a lot of commands which you will understand right now. So let me just clear it down again so that you can see all of the things. Git clear, git help. Okay, now you can see after pressing git help, we came to know about like, did you know, actually did you remember like we used clone previously, right? This clone, so clone a repository into a new directory. So you know, git init to create an empty git repository. So all of the most of the things, reset, we will use reset. Also we will use status, we will use branch, checkout, commit, merge, rebase, fetch, pull, push. These are the things we are going to use in the whole series. Okay, so don't worry, there are a few other things like move, remove, this kind of thing. These are very much normal stuff. And also we have used add, right? Move, remove, these are kind of move from one directory to another or something. These are not that much of important. Okay, but still if you're using within because why we are using actually move and remove, these are important. Why here? The thing is that we're tracking the whole system, right? Like assume that one has started working and he has decided, okay, this folder should not be here, let's remove it here. So other folks should know like where it has been moved. So if you actually use git move and something, so it will be tracked as well. Okay, so and mostly in Ubuntu or something, you just can't go there and pick and something. You just have to do all of this stuff in your command line. Okay, that's the thing. Now we have to find out show various types of objects. Okay, now let's go for this. Like we can see show various type of objects is basically show. So we are going to press this show, no issues. Great. Now we're going to use what's the git command used to list, create or delete branches. So basically this is basically related to branches. So we are going to go for the branch. So you can see list, create or delete branches. So it is basically a branch. Okay, great, no issues. Okay, so like what's the git command used to download objects from another repository? Okay, so you can say download objects and references from another repository. This is basically fetch. Okay, and also these are quite kind of what I would say is kind of similar, but not totally, because you can see you will later on see that fetch is download objects and references from another repository, but pull is fetch from and integrate with another repository or a local branch. It's a lot of things, kind of pull, changes, and so on. Okay, we'll see that. But basically, fetch is used when you are in your local system and you want to actually get all of the things which are in the remote repository in your local system. But pull is basically you're working now. Okay, you have done already fetched it, you have made some changes, maybe there's new update in the remote repository, so you want to pull the changes. Okay, all the things that have been done, pull it here so that I am up to date. Okay, we will understand that, no worries, just see the whole series. Okay, now the thing is, what's the git command used to download objects from another repository? So we can see, which is basically going to be fetch. Okay, great. Now what's the git command used to start a working area? To start a working area, right? Start a working area or start something, what we have to do, let's see, do we need to add it? No, because add is not in the working area. It is basically to take it to the staging area, but init is something to work on the start a working area. Okay, so previously we have already seen what we have done. So to take it to the staging area, we are using add. To take it to the commit, we are using git commit. But to initialize it, basically as a start, we are just using init. Okay, that's the thing. You can also see like create an empty git repository or reinitialize an existing one. So it should be git init. Okay, great. Now you may view additional help on each command following the syntax GitHub and then after the something. For this you must first install GitMan pages using the command sudo apt. Okay, we're just using this one. It is not that much related. Okay, just installing GitMan and we're basically going to get help from it. Okay, command and identify the options used to. Okay, done. So basically what they ask for is and identify the options used to create repositories, right? Okay, no issues. So here basically git help init and identify the options. Okay, so what we can see is like there are a lot of options, right? So here if you see the bear, create a bear repository. Okay, dash bear. This is not that much of a use, but still no issues. So yeah, done. So that is the thing, like we've learned about what is git. Now let's go for another one, which is initialize a git repository. I've just learned of how can we download git. Then we have not initialized it yet. We have learned how to use the commands and how to get the help. Okay, so great. Now we have started another one. So you can see like what is so what is the command to initialize git repository? We all know to initialize it we use git init, right? That's cool. Let's go. Setting things up. In this sessions, basically you are going to learn about like I'm going to draw it down in my OneNote and you will know what are the things happening, who is doing this, who is doing this. There are a lot of things that is going to happen. So it said like initialize a Git repository at this location, create a directory if it does not exist. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do, mkdir create a directory. This this is basically Sarah's terminal. So this is what we're doing, and we're going to get into basically the same location. Okay, great, that's it. So, and also pw, so we can see where we are. Sorry, pw it will be, yeah, we are currently in the directory. So create a directory if it does not exist. Okay, create a directory. My bad. Okay, so what we can do here, initialize, oh okay, initialize the Git repository. So we haven't done that. Git init. Great, now let's see. Done. So we have created a directory. There is a directory location out there. You just don't need to think. If you're in Windows, just create a folder and initialize the repository. Which hidden folder gets created after initializing a Git repository? Which hidden folder gets created after initializing repository? .git, right? This is created, right? Okay, so how can we do that? Let's see. Like, okay, so we are within the folder ls-a. Yeah, you can see .git, but if you just write ls, there is nothing. Okay, let's test some of the concept we learned so far in our lectures. Okay, in our sessions, if you can say, once the Git repository has been initialized, which stage contains the active changes? Okay, so the active changes, what is happening, it is basically, we have mentioned previously, right? So it is basically in the working area, the active changes. Great. Okay, now let's add a file to our project inside this location. So we are already within the location. File name will be this, and the content will be this. Okay, now there is an interesting part. If you're in Windows, the thing is very much easier. Just create a file name this, and just keep it down in this. The content will be this. But in your, when you're using Ubuntu, the things are quite not same. You have to write basically touch, which is to create a file, touch, then this, and there is something like echo, then this line, and these things. So these are all given out here. So we are just going to, I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to make you understand what's happening. Okay, so touch and the file name. So this is how the file is created. So now if you want to see, you can see ls. Now you can see the file name, right? Also, if you just write ls-a, you can now see all of the hidden files and also this file. Okay, that means we are good to go. We have the file. Now we can write this echo, echo, echo. Okay, echo. Then we have to give all of the text we want to give it, or all of the things we want to give it within the file. This is the file name. So within the file, what do we have? We want to give it. These are the things. Okay, great. Now done. This text is now already in the this actually file. Now we can just give it ls to see what are the files we have in this folder. We have only ls, lion and mouse text. But if you want to see what is within that, there is another command which is cat, and then give it the file name, paste. You can now see within the file we have just this text. So these are few of the Ubuntu or Linux commands you have to understand. If you are very much now familiar with it, or gradually, just if you remain with the sessions, you will learn about this. Okay, echo, cat, vim editor to edit some text in Ubuntu or Linux based system. You have to actually learn about this, but no issues. I will make you understand. If you have any questions, just ping me, just write it down in the comment section. Okay, now we can check it down if there is anything. You can see verify file like this. Now which stage contains new changes that will soon be committed? Now if we check this out, you know, things that are soon to be committed are in the staging area, then they are going to be committed, right? They are in the staging area. Great. Also, now that we have added a text file, let's see if Git detected the changes we made. Although we have not done anything with Git yet, we initialize a Git repository. So you know, like we have first in our other sessions, you saw like we first created a sample.txt, then we initialize that, then we worked. But here we firstly initialize the Git git init. Then we created a file, then we wrote something, right? Okay, you can see git by executing. So we know, like, to check if git has started tracking, we can see git status, and you can see just like our sample.txt, this lion file is not basically tracked. So to track it, we just need to add it to the staging area. Okay, no issues, or you can say it add. So what commits are listed in git repository? What commits are, okay, so git status, basically now whatever you write, git status something, it basically there is .git file. This is basically a repository, .git repository. If you talk about ls, we have this file, but actually we have ls-a, right? So we have this kind of things, ls-a. So there is a .git repository. Within that .git repository, whenever we write git status something, is basically these kind of things, like on branch, it says something like where are we right now, how many commits we do have, this kind of thing. So here just asked like what commits are listed in git repository. So when we pressed git status, it basically shows all of the stuffs. You can see it shows about the which branch we are in, how many commits we have done, are we tracking anything, or untrack, or is anything modified, or so on. So you can see we have mentioned about the file name, no commits, story blog, which commits. So story blog is not something, sorry, what commits are listed in the git repository? What, oh sorry, my bad, what commits is basically no commits are there, right? So there is no commit. This is what they mentioned. I was confused with like which things are here, are not here. Okay, what's the status of the lionn file in the repository? Now here you can see when we ask for the status, it says lionn mouse text file is untracked. So untracked, great. Now which area of the local git repository is the lionn text file in? So as we have not added it to the staging area, as you have understood, we have not added it to the staging area, it is surely in the working area, right? It is in the working area. Great. Now stage the file lionn-mouse.txt to make it available for commit. Okay, now we are going to take it to the staging area. So you know what is supposed to be supposed to write. So git add, then I'm going to give like then the file name is better, but lion and mouse.txt. okay, now let's see what is the status. Now you see like changes to be committed, so that means it has been taken to the staging area. Still that was not supposed to see, but I just made you understand what's happening. Now you see, now less time. This is the thing we ended up in previous session, is like we saw the git log, but we haven't set it with our what I would say is like username and mail, right? So right now we can use that here, so it's great. Now what we can do is to add that, we have to write basically git config user.email, then the email, git config user.name, then the name. Okay, you can also use like global one as well, no issues. Okay. User email done. Okay, so why we have done that, now you understand what's happening. So we have in our sessions, what we have done is quite different. So in my git bash, I already actually added my mail and name, right? So that is why when I created a commit, I didn't have to add it. But right now we have actually added our lion and mouse or txt file. We have actually taken it to the staging area, right? We have taken it to the staging area and we are about to commit, right? And yeah, that's it. So when you saw the git log, right, you saw name, mail, etc. So they need this kind of stuff. So if you just going to create a commit, it doesn't make sense. So you should add your name and mail. So that is what they are going to do. They are basically adding git we are adding that git configuration, basically user.email. So they know in this terminal we're basically using Sarah is using, and Sarah @example.com, this is her mail. Okay, Well, this is not a problem. We're just learning that. Okay, great. We have added that. Great. Now we're going forward. So let's commit our change. Now we want to commit that. So basically we have added it to the staging area. Now we just need to write git commit and -m then message. Now you can see the same git commit -m then message. Okay, so it has been committed. Okay, you can see git commit -m and the message. Great.